So, if you follow me on Twitter or you've followed my YouTube channel or social media of any sort, you know that I am a Pokemon fan. You know that I'm an Xbox player. That Halo is probably one of the biggest FPS influences in my gaming life. And so I kind of want to talk a little bit about why I think Halo should be done. At least when it comes to building like campaign games, things like, extending the storyline. I honestly feel like there are some franchises that they run their course and it's time for them to just be over. The story is told. Very similar feeling actually with Gears of War, which I'm also a huge fan of. And for a while there, kind of meant a little bit more to me because of the community and the multiplayer aspect. So I am kind of a franchise purist with a lot of these games. Like I said, if you know me from my Pokemon fandom, I basically feel like Pokemon kind of ended at Generation 4. Yes, it continued on. There's been more games. The franchise has expanded. I'm a fan of the TCG, and I do like some of the Pokemon that came after. But the point here is, it's kind of like you're going up a hill. You're building something. You found the identity of these things, and you're building it, and then you reach the top. It's peaked. And then from there, it's all downhill. You keep trying to add new things to stop the ball from rolling down the hill. You're putting stuff in front of it, like, oh, maybe if we add sprint to Halo, maybe if we add, clamber to Halo, maybe if we add this, that, the other thing, that'll make it fresh enough to keep it from rolling down the hill, and it just doesn't work. It's already done. There's somebody I follow on Twitter, and I really like her takes, although we do kind of disagree on one thing. Halo 2 is, in fact, the superior game to Halo 3. It always has been, always will be. However, Halo 3 is great as well. But she is a huge Halo fan, the original trilogy. Her @ is HaleyX24. And she's apparently been active in the Halo and Xbox community for many, many years, played in tournaments of Halo 3 back in the day, and I think possibly Halo 2, I can't remember. And there's a website on her Twitter bio called savehalo.com. I believe it is her website, though it doesn't really say, from what I can tell, whose it is. But it follows all of her lines of thinking when you go there. And essentially, you go to this website and it spells out all the reasons why modern Halo is no longer Halo, and goes into other things about 343 and how the franchise has been managed, how many people at 343 essentially look down on the community and the players that they are supposed to be serving, that they're supposed to represent. And I am never a fan of this in any realm. No brand, whether it's food or drink or sports or video games or music, it doesn't matter what it is, movies. You built something, people attached to that, made you money. And if you want to move on and do new things, that's fine. But don't take the thing that you built for people and that they then supported and say, well, now it's going to be different, and I don't care if you like that or not. Just leave the thing as it was in a good place and move on to something new. I feel like this is what needs to happen with Halo. It's kind of, I hate to say this because Halo and Xbox are so intertwined, but it's past its prime, and it has been for a while. I do differ from some of the Halo purists. I actually like Halo 4, not for the multiplayer. The multiplayer was definitely a step in the wrong direction. I did, of course, have some fun with it, just like I had some fun with Halo Infinite, but eventually what happens is the shine wears off and you see through the gloss and you go, this is not Halo gameplay. Like I said, I did have some fun times with Halo 4 multiplayer, but I actually think the Halo 4 campaign is quite fantastic story-wise and character building and world building, the lore of it. And there's things that I haven't dug super far into. I very much enjoyed the experience that was presented for Master Chief and Cortana, and I feel like that right there should have been it. Halo 5 should not have happened. and Halo Infinite should not have happened, at least for campaign, at the campaign side of it. But just to go back, when you build something a certain way, you have built an identity. Halo had an identity as this arena shooter where there's no loadouts. People all start on an even keel, and you have to pick up these power weapons and items and stuff from the map. And it was a skill-based thing. If everybody starts a match with the same set of weapons, the only determining factor on who wins or loses is the skill of the players, and obviously strategically capturing weapons and parts of the map. Things about Halo that changed when you added sliding and sprinting and climbing onto ledges, and then Halo 5 you were pretty much Iron Man, and these are all very cool gameplay in a different franchise. And it's actually kind of a big missed opportunity for Microsoft and Xbox Game Studios that they didn't go, you know what? Let's build a new shooter, something new that has all this frantic, frenetic, mobility gameplay. They really could have done that. So you could have had Halo over here doing what it was doing and being the best of that. And the reason why millions of gamers turn to Halo and have so many, lifelong memories and friendships and such that were built because of it. And then you could have also built something new. That was Gears of War. Now Gears of War wasn't built by Xbox, it was built by Epic. But still, you now had a contrast. You could play Halo 2, Halo 3, and then you also had Gears of War over here, which was like the grittier, moodier, darker shooter that was third person and cover based. They could have made a massive mistake and be like, oh, we want to do a Halo that is cover based and is really, really gory. There's a lot of foul language and all this kind of stuff, right? And it would have been like, huh? Why would you do that? That is not Halo. It's Gears of War, and Gears of War is amazing for it. And so they it's happened before. So what they should have done is moved in that direction. If you have 343 and you have the new people that are in charge of Halo and they want to do these things, well, okay, fine, let them do that, but push them over to another project. And so Halo has completely lost its identity when it comes to what the core gameplay aspects are. It'd be like if you took Metal Gear Solid and turned it into an RPG. People want to think, oh, it's subtle and it added extra dimension. Yes, but it changed the core fundamentals. It changed what the experience is that people remember as Halo and why they go to that brand. You've changed. As far as story, I love Master Chief. He's stoic, and he's like the symbol of stoicism and strength, and determination, and just pure badassery, basically. And then Cortana was intelligent and feisty, and the two of them were like a perfect pairing of characters. And when their story was over, which in my mind basically ended in Halo 4, that should have really been the end of the story when it came to Halo. I understand that there was other, you had Halo Wars, you had Halo Reach, which I have other issues with that game. But this idea that you can kind of just drag out this whole thing forever, have the new bad guy of the week that's kind of the Covenant, but we're not calling it the Covenant, but it is the Covenant. It's the same characters, the same weapons. They have the same motivations for the most part, and continue to find a way to like just to pull Master Chief into it, because what is Halo without Master Chief? There needs to come a point where you go, you know what, this is amazing. We have this fantastic franchise, this series, but it's time for it to rest. It's done its dues. It gets to retire and rest on its laurels, And I feel like that's where we are with Halo. Halo needs to be over. It's time for Xbox to find the next big thing. You know, they innovated in that space, and they made a cultural phenomenon in the 2000s, and then, you know, 2010s going forward. But we're kind of past that. And Gears of War came along and became its own thing. Obviously, it always remained kind of second to Halo in sales and popularity, but it was a big deal as well, especially as an alternative for people who didn't necessarily, you know, have the same kind of memories from Halo. Gears of War brought in a whole other group of players to Xbox. Now you could have the Master Chief Collection, you could continue to expand it and improve it in different ways, and perhaps you even go back and find ways to like add new maps. You'll build some new maps and such to and expand playlists for like Halo 3 and Halo 4 and Halo 2. You know, that would be great. But there comes a point where when you turn a great franchise into essentially a way to push a live service, which is what Halo Infinite is. You have the campaign there just to be like, hey guys, there's something for you to do, and it has Master Chief, but they really want you to play the live service of Halo Infinite multiplayer. When you get to that point, it's over. Move on. And maybe they would, like I said, continue to milk some things when it came to the Master Chief Collection. I'd be fine with that because you're still retaining the core gameplay. But when it comes to making new games and trying to carry on the story in Master Chief, let's just be done. You know, and I say this as a huge fan of this series and a huge fan of Xbox. Xbox needs to move on, create the next big experience. I mean, obviously we have stuff like Starfield and you know, Fable's coming back, and Perfect Dark could be that. I'm actually very excited for Perfect Dark. It is a first-person shooter. I would have loved third person, but perhaps that's it. You know, like latch onto that and make that the next big primary Xbox shooter. And let Master Chief rest his bones.